Well, I'll try it. I'll try it. The first injection you have is a week, and then you go back for the monthly. So this injection is a blocker, blocks opiates, and it's a long-lasting injection. It goes on for a month. So if I ever tried to use heroin, it just wouldn't work. I thought, well, look, I'll try the first week one, and if I don't like it, I'll just go back on the meth. At least I've tried. And I done it, and I am now 5 years clean. Like, I'm now speaking to you 5 years clean.
What's up, guys? I just want to give a massive shout out to our new partners on the podcast, Haven Alarms. They are massive on looking after our family, making sure that they're safe at home with the CCTV intruder and door cameras. And now the game changer that keeps everyone safe, your loved ones, your family, your friends, and the wider community. The game changer is the fact that they now have something totally different where they can get access and safety to your loved ones from just a click on your phone. So whether your children are outside the house, they're on the way to school, or you're coming home from a night out and you feel alert or distressed, there's people around you that are making you feel on edge, you can now click an app on your phone which can keep you safe at all times, and it'll send an emergency response out to all of your loved ones. Once they do that, they're one click away from finding where your directions are, and they can get access to you within minutes. Now, this is the game changer. In the world that we are in right now, I want everyone safe. Now, if you feel like you want your children safe, or your family or your loved ones safe, now this is the game changer. So check in the description below, click the link, and sign up to your Haven Alarm and get your family and your loved ones feeling safe at all times. Yes, boys, what's happening? How are we doing? We good? We got Cullan here, we got Jim Dog here. How's things?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm just going to tone mine up a little bit. What number does that say?
Number one.
Number one. Say hello. There we go. We're in.
Yeah,
I'm good,
nice.
mate. First of all, boys, I want to just say massive thank you for both of you coming here. Both legends in your own industries. I'm keen to know about yours today, Cal. I've known about you obviously from your podcast.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring. It actually inspired me when I come home and someone said you need to listen to the Central podcast. I know you've got the football and other factors. You're doing vlogging in the streets, but it inspired me because not many people from our area, I know you're Cardiff, were doing this, and you're breaking many boundaries that many people aren't doing. So I was like, for me, man, that was inspiring. So thank you for that.
No, I really appreciate it. I think that was part of why I started to do this in the first place, was like Wales is just, we're always second fiddle to the English, even the Scottish and Irish. Like, you know, over the years now, you just, whether that is sports or music or anything else, like, and you look at the talent here we have is and what we have to offer, it's unbelievable. So when I got clean and I, you know, wanted to start this, I was quite surprised there wasn't many people doing it anyway. Yeah. It was during that time when everyone was starting to do like podcasts and stuff, and there was, you know, the odd person, but I think because of my addictive personality, which we'll probably get into, like, but because of my addictive personality, I just went balls deep. Like, I just done it, like, try me, like, love that, man. So yeah,
it's impressive, man. And so what year did you start podcasting?
2021, end of 2021. I think it's 2021. It might be 2022, but it was just after the second lockdown, because we just interviewed Mark Drakeford as like episode 3, and we were filming like, at that time we were doing like 2 in a day, 3 in a day. So like he was like one of our first bodies in the door, like, you know, and it was just after he implemented some crazy lockdown rules. Like,
that must have been controversial. That
you know, and like, you know, it was just like, I remember, like I said, like to everyone, like, because at that time it was more of like a community. So like Cardiff were like probably watching me rather than the amount of people who watch now. And like, obviously I'm starting a podcast, and before we started the podcast, we were going round with these stickers, the Central Club stickers, and we were just plastering them everywhere. Nice. And like people were thinking it was like this nightclub, and like they didn't know what it was, you know. And we had like 400 subscribers before we even put a video out.
That's so good.
Subscribed, do you know what I mean? So like, it was like we tried to build a bit of momentum before, and then I think some people probably thought, because of I was so early on in my recovery, I was still like only like 4 to 6 months clean. People probably thought, this ain't gonna last, sort of thing. And then I remember I had like Darren G, who's like this like ex-Liverpool, people will know who he is, like in the YouTube kind of world. We had him on, and then we had Mark Drakeford on, and I think people, Mark Drakeford, as much as he, for his flaws and even myself, like as a person, lovely guy, but he goes through me as well. Like, and like, and I don't agree with much of his policies really. But to have him on, he was more certified than any of the other people. Really, he's carried more weight. Probably not with views, but like he's carried weight in terms of being like solidified as like an official podcast. People couldn't believe it, like.
That's ballsy, man, to get people like that on. And you just said something at the start regarding impulsive or addictive personality traits. Like, if you can dial that into something, it's powerful, man. If you, like anything, if you put into positive intentions, it grows. If you put into a negative intention, it grows. It can be a blessing or a curse. And yeah, man, I love it. I love it. And I like the fact that like you'll get people on your podcast that you might not agree with. And
that's all the time.
But you literally go, you know what? I'm open to listen to what you've got to talk about, and you'll get people that you agree with, and you're not there trying to antagonize them or demoralize them. You're actually like, use your platform, speak. Hey, if you've got an opinion.
Yeah, and I think that really like triggers a lot of people because I'm so laid back with it. Like people actually think I get on with these people. Like they're like, he must agree with this person. Why didn't he say this? Why didn't he say that? Like I'm not.
It's like what you were saying before when we came to your place, wasn't it? About you'll have someone from the far right or the right on, and then they'll assume that because you're doing content with him and you're speaking with him that you're on his side. But in the same way, like you said, you have a Muslim imam on, didn't you?
Yeah, we've had like preachers on, like who some would say is quite extreme, like not you're like.
But no one's then saying, oh, you're a Muslim. No. You're this or you're that. So. And that's why it's the Central Club, isn't it? Like,
I've literally had people who identify as furries and puppies on, literally on the floor, rolling round.
No way.
And I'm chucking a ball at them, like I'm involved, like.
Look.
Listen, like
you're good.
No, but I think because I lived my life. I grew up with a very open mind anyway. Like my mum and dad taught me well. I think got on with I'm from Cardiff at the end of the day. It's impossible to be racist in Cardiff. And like, yeah, I just, with my life of addiction, the people I hung around with, the things I was called, I'm not a stranger to being abused. You fucking smackhead little rat, robbing bastard, all this. Like, I'm just used to it. And most of it was my own doing. So I'm quite comfortable with sitting next to someone who's either I disagree with, or even probably grinds my gears a bit. Like I'm able to just sit there and just take it. Like, do you know what I mean? And I think we're all human beings at the end of the day, and none of us are perfect. And that's why I've done the Central Club, was to show like, yeah, some people might have this about them, but it doesn't mean they're evil people, And yeah, I'm not a communist for interviewing a communist. I'm not a Nazi for interviewing Tommy Robinson. I'm not an Islamist for interviewing Ali Dawah. I'm not a murderer for interviewing an ex-criminal who shot someone. Like, do you know what I mean? But I just want to hear these people, and I say it's either giving them the microphone to change people's perception of them, or giving them the rope to hang themselves.
I love that. And it's one thing as well, like you mentioned just then about mum and dad. Good upbringing, and I kind of want to break the stigma around addiction, because a lot of people think to become an addict you've got to have some traumatizing past or childhood or whatnot, and that's the reason why we start in this journey. For yourself, man, and I hope you don't mind talking about it. Where did it stem from for you, and where did it come from? You said environment, but
yeah. So there was like a couple things. Like if I put them down on the table, there's like 3 issues, I would say, and one of them is my mental health, which I hate saying still to this day. Is that stigma's still there of mental health, where it's like, here we go. Do you know what I mean? It was definitely that, and then it was like literally like the people you hang around with, and bad decision making. Like they are the things that mixed up for this, and I always did say that like. It doesn't have to be, traumatizing. You don't have to have had this traumatic upbringing. But I think what I want to try and do is change it to, what it is it is trauma. But when we think of trauma, we think of really bad things, like you've been abused, like you've been brought up in care and been battered all your life, like you've been neglected, like you've seen your parents go through something horrific. Yeah. Sometimes everyone's trauma is different, innit? Do you know what I mean? And from doing work over the last like 3 to 4 years and going into like counselling sessions and stuff, they've put it down to me that like it was separation anxiety with me. So like I grew up a lot with my grandmother. My mum and dad were great, like, but my grandmother lived around the corner, and I lived with her for such a long time. My uncle lived in the house, and like I was really close to my uncle. Still got loads of photos when we were kids. When he was 16, he went to prison for death by dangerous driving. Killed a little girl out joyriding. You know, now kids kind of trend is the sarons and the balaclavas. Back then it was joyriding, you know, stealing cars and joyriding. And he killed a girl. He went to prison. So they said, like, that's your first person in your life who's gone. And then my grandmother, who I was like literally like, she was like everything to me. I would stay over at her house on a weeknight for school, weekends. Her and my grandfather had a divorce, and she left. She went to Northamptonshire, where she's originally from, in Corby. And then my other nan died whilst I was in jail. And what they're saying to me is, your OCD, your health anxieties, which has ultimately led you down the path of addiction because you use drugs to self-medicate, has stemmed from these people going in your life. And you don't want other people to go. And like, so when I was a kid, like after all that kind of stuff, even when I was like 13, 14, 15, even 16, 17, like when my dad he used to be a taxi driver, and I used to like proper panic, like he ain't coming home, like he's going to have a car crash. And I would make sure man, ring him. She's like, I just rang him 2 minutes ago. She's fucking driving, fuck off. You know, if they went on holidays, I'd really like think, fuck. Like,
worst case scenario.
Yeah. So I started to develop like ritualistic behaviors to make sure that these things would be safe. And it's toxic because as soon as you do the one ritual and they're okay, it's like every time it's solidifying that what you're doing is in your destiny, it's in your hands, their safety. And I'm not gonna lie, I still got it now. Like I still got it after, you know, years of abusing drugs and everything I've been through. I'm back around and I'm having to deal with it differently.
Do those thoughts come back, would you say? Is it like, you know, do you still think, now that you're aware of it, do you still think that I've got to tap this light switch off?
I still do I still do like rituals to
make sure no one leaves you.
Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
I don't know. Like we just said, my dad's been in hospital last night. Like, so I just been on a mad one. Like.
Is that why you're late? Because you've been turning the fucking light switches off?
Well, that's one of the things. Like I've actually got sacked from jobs because of my punctuality.
Is it?
And
is it because you get caught in a ritual, or
it's not because I'm a lazy bastard? Because I'm very.
It's just
very,
you get trapped.
I am like my dad used to say. Cullan could. I remember being sat like with this, like, observing. He was like, "Listen, Cullan, he got a job at 9 o'clock. He could be up at 6 o'clock, ready, dressed." And he'll still be half hour late because just getting him out of the door. And like, I'd leave the house. Oh, fuck, I forgot this. Go back, check. Back. You know? And you know, like they say, like the light switches, the putting things in order, the even numbers on that's just on, what you call it?
It's almost a gimmick.
Autoplay.
Autoplay, that's the word. They're just autoplay, they are. They're the bare minimums I just have to do. But then, depending on the scenario, depending where I am, other rituals will come into play. Oh, take a sip of his coffee without him clocking. Honestly.
Really?
Oh, mate.
Intrusive thoughts.
Intrusive thought. We were talking about this earlier, bro.
That's what it is.
We just said one earlier. I don't want to go on to it because it's dangerous.
There are some
But would you do that? Would you actively do that with people?
I worked. We'll talk about the holiday thing. I worked for an agency back when I was like turning into my like 20s, so from like 19 to 20 when I just started heroin. And I always tried to work if I could, and I'd work like as a bartender, like in different places. So like Foss Racecourse, the Star, Park of Scarlets, Millennium Stadium, and
like a hospitality group.
Yeah, with an agency, and they pay, but like they loved me that much. it was like 99.9% were like African students, and then there was me. Right? So I always had like the best job because they must have trusted me because I was this white
fella.
Like you know, subliminal racism there, like, you know,
massively.
And like, so they were, you know, because what they would do is these agencies, say like it was Foss Race Course, and they had, I don't know, 100 jobs to go. They would ring up 120. Hope, you know, because they think some people will drop out. Yeah. But every week they would turn people back, but they never ever turned me back. And I felt like, do you know what I mean? But anyway, I ended up becoming a team leader where basically any places I would go, I would be like, I would run the units. Yeah. So then I would say like I was in the Millennium and I was on tier 222 unit bar, whatever. That was my bar. Yeah. And they would give you the floats and stuff, yeah? So like you'd have to cash up and whatever. So I used to just rob hundreds of pounds every time I'd work there, and then the next week I'd get paid for this, so I get paid twice, and then he'd be like, "Oh, cool, New Zealand, Wales, autumn series, you're going to be there." And every time I used to think they're going to arrest me this time, and they never did. Wow! I used to go to watch like U2 play. You know, I watched Australia, Wales, where I would just cash up, take them in. I'll be back in a bit. Please keep an eye. And they would come to me as well, the security. Really? If you see anything dodgy, you know, let us know on the walk. I was the dodgy one. And I'd go and watch the game and go with 300 quid in my pocket, go and smoke my and they'd ring me the next week again. Wow. But what I'm trying to get at is I was working, but I was just gone around the bushes. But the one time I was working in the Holiday Inn in the Callahan's bar in town, and my mum and dad went on holiday, and they were flying back that night, and something told me that like I need to pour half a pint of vodka with a bit of orange juice and down it. Otherwise, the plane's going to crash. And there was like a manager there who actually worked for the Holiday Inn. And like, so I still have to do it. And I've done it.
Are you on shift at this point?
Yeah, I'm working. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wow. But like, it's like things like that, like that I'd have to do.
That's like, mad, that is. But it's interesting at the same time, because then you've done it and you put yourself in the shit, really, well,
like I'm thinking, well, yeah, they're safe.
So how far did that scratch go, though?
Really bad, mate. Like,
what was the worst stages you got with it? Because obviously, like, this connects then to...
people would tell you, like fucking, I have to touch every lamppost. I have to walk around every lamppost. I got chased by the police once, and I missed the lamppost. And I went back.
Well, you sidestepped the police officer and go...
Yeah, and the copper, like, looked at me, like, and he stopped. And he thought I was coming to hand myself in. And I touched the lamppost and started off. And I was with the boys at the time, and the one of them, like my best mate at the time, like he knew me in and out. And the other boy went, "Yo, bro, what's Cullan doing?" He went, "It's all right, he missed the lamppost." Like he just knew, like he just knows, like. Do you know what I mean?
Oh fuck.
Yeah, like
that's got me.
Yeah, oh, fuck. You know, I used to be up at like obviously my mum and dad, like they love going on holiday, and like nearly every time I was in jail, they were abroad, and it was like, oh, that dreaded feeling of them. Make sure, you know, and I'd have to get up the next day then to try and use the phone to check they landed safe and I'd be sat up sometimes in my jail cell watching like BBC 24 waiting for like...
a plane crash?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
No way, just on edge waiting.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
And then I'd be like doing rituals and I got a pad, mate, and it's like, just play with his hair without him noticing, and you know the plane will be alright. Like, and I'd like just mad shit, mate. I swear to God, it's you know, and it controls everything from what I wear, from which directions I go.
So did drugs switch that off?
Yeah, to an extent. But then it, you know, so what happened was I was anti-drug because of what happened to my uncle, anti-drug, and I remember going to visit him as a kid, like, and it was like an adventure in a way, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah. We're going to Portland prison to see my uncle, like, you know, like it was, and then I'd spend the whole visit in the play area and like look over at my family, and my uncle's crying and my mum and dad are crying, and you know, because he was young, and but I was anti-drug, and then like my mum and dad, out of everyone, I grew up on a council estate, and all my mates and now their parents were quite cool. Like I get a lot of it from my mum, see. So like, I'm going camping. No, you're not going camping. You know, or we go down the beach, like, you know, like, and you put your feet in the water. Get out of there, the shark's gonna get you. Like proper flapping, like, do you know what I mean?
Just like put fear into you straight away.
Yeah. I swear to God, like, I feel like that's a big part of it. Like,
massively.
She is like got anxiety bad, like, and you know that that prevented me from doing a lot of stuff, but it also obviously fucking installed that fear into me. And my mates, like, you know, they done everything for, you know, I remember, like, when it came to, like, weed, all my mates were burning weed. All of them were smoking it. But, like, their parents were quite cool about it. But if my mum and dad found out I was smoking weed, they'd fuck me up. And I was like, why are you being so weird? Everyone's smoking weed, do you know what I mean? And then, like, so for a long time, I didn't touch it. And I always thought drugs, like, oh, my God, it'll kill you. I was petrified, like, to the point where, like, I would be like, why are you smoking, you weirdo? Get that fag out of your mouth. And then in year 10, my OCD was at a point of really, like, it was everyone knew about it. We used to just take the piss out of it. And instead of going to, like, instead of going to a doctor, instead of speaking up publicly, you know, we're talking 2008, so mental health really wasn't spoken about then, especially men's mental health or boys. And although my mum and dad knew about it as well, I think they just probably, shut up, you're fine. You're just growing up. You're just a weak, you know. And then just the pressures of, you know, who you're around and stuff, because you get desensitized to things and stuff. I just tried a spliff the one day, and I just only had 2 puffs, and it was like that. Give me a chewing gum, bro. Give me some spray, like flappy. But when I took them, that drag of that weed, like, it was like a light switch that just stopped my anxieties. And
so it mellowed you, leveled you out a bit.
The weed itself, or the act of breaking the rules, do you think?
I think it was like the buzz, like the effect of the weed, like just, you know, it was like fucking, oh my God, this is amazing.
Because weed does that, right? It relieves a lot of people's anxieties. But then the thing is, when you stop taking it, your anxieties come back to the surface, then you take more. Then you're in the vicious cycle.
And the thing with weed now is it's a minefield out there, because every weed's different, mate. Like, you know, some got high THC, some haven't, you know. And maybe at that moment there, I was smoking weed that didn't have much THC in, and it was really great for me. But what happened was I became this kid who was petrified of smoking weed to becoming the biggest weed head out of all of my mates within a couple of weeks. And to the point where I was, like, selling my PlayStation, like proper fiend, like, you know, that addictive personality has crept in with the OCD and everything I have to, this feels good, I like it, it's taking away my issues, boom, 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 boom.
Put everything into
and
it.
I put everything into it. So that was like the first time that I put my addictive personality into something. And as you know, whatever we abuse will always come back to bite you on the ass. And I remember one day I woke up, my dad was like, you need to get a fucking job. You need to go and get a job. I made some CVs with my mum, and in the morning I waited on the bus to go to town to hand out CVs. And I checked my pocket, and I had half a spliff in my pocket, stubbed out. And I fucking buzzing, so I lit it on the bus stop. And I just remember being on the bus, and I remember walking around town feeling like everyone was out to get me, and everyone wanted to kill me, and everyone was watching me. And I never handed no CVs in, and I went home, and they were like, did you hand any in? And I was like, yeah. And I thought, I've never felt like that, smoking the weed. It was really bad, like, you know.
How long after was this, since you started?
So I'd say about 8 months, it wasn't even a year, about 8 or 9 months into smoking weed heavy. The first time I ever had that feeling, and it was like, you know, that reality check you get of like, what the fuck you done in your life, and, you know, fucking that Facebook post I put out a week ago, and or 10 years ago, and, you know, that anxiety feeling you get. And I thought, no, that's a fluke. And I tried having another spliff in the night, and I had the feeling again. And from that moment, it was such a bad episode I had, that I just stopped smoking weed. And what I did, I was trying to do the rituals as well. It really triggered my rituals, but it just wasn't working. I was still feeling that way. And I remember just saying, I'm done with weed. So what I did was, instead of, again, speaking out about it and telling people, I looked for other drugs. Started drinking a lot, taking benzos, Valiums. I would sniff a bit of cocaine, not much, but a bit with the boys after a night out. And then my uncle came out of prison. And like I said, he regardless for what he done, you know, he didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. And where I'm from and probably where you guys are from, we look up to people who go to jail. We look up to the hard man on the estate. We look up to the drug dealer.
It's not even us or people or location, is it? It's the people.
Yeah.
You know, like rappers, drug dealers, bad people.
The culture, isn't it?
Bad boys. It's attractive to women and it's attractive to younger lads, isn't it?
Yeah, because
like,
they want to be that person
guy.
who's attracted. Yeah, like, and I don't know why I did, like, because it's fucking pathetic. And if anyone out there looks up to people like, oh, you're an idiot, you know? And hopefully one day you will realise that. So, yeah, like, I quickly got drawn to him. And I quickly got introduced to a whole different life. You know, he obviously built up good connections whilst he was in jail. And we call it county lines now, but, you know, he was basically doing that 20 years ago, where he was bringing gangs from London, Birmingham, Manchester, Bristol, and he was setting up drug lines with them in these areas. He would find flats for them to set up in as well, and they would just pay him, or they would pay him in drugs or whatever. They would use him to collect debts and do nasty things. And to me, it was like, wow. And what happened was I ended up falling out of a relationship with my best mate over something pathetic. But at the time, it was the end of the world, like, you know, and we all hung around together. We all played with the same football, rugby team, baseball team, you know, like, and for the people who don't know, like that's what I'm saying. Growing up in the high school book, the end of year leavers book, I was never destined to be the drug addict who goes to prison. I was probably going to be quite successful, probably a comedian. I was quite a funny kid. Would never have expected me to be that guy. And the person who was probably expected to be the criminal is a very successful man now. That's just how it works, isn't it? And because I stopped hanging around with my group of friends and stuff, I was just drawn to my uncle all the time. And I saw everything from big lumps of cocaine and crack and heroin and guns. He was looking after guns in the flat, and it was just mad. I'd go on mad missions with him where he was kidnapping people and beating people up and stuff. And then it was like a bit of a mad grooming process in a way, like, because it was like I wasn't making any money from any of this, but like he would be like, look after this, or there's this, go and run that over down to the bus stop, bring it back. And I just loved it. I became an MC at the time as well. Around this time, I was a grime MC. So to me, I was like, I want to live this life so I can like actually like rap about it. Like I'm living this life, like, and I was just a fucking idiot. Like, do you know what I mean? But I was very desensitized to it. And one thing that they don't teach you in school is when it comes to drugs, when it comes to gambling, anything bad, they only show you the end product of what it is. And that's good. It's good to show you the man sat on the streets who's begging, who's got no money, he's got no family. You know, he's on death's door. It's good to show that side for people to be educated of where you will end up. But they don't show you the beginning or the process or the middle of it, which is, to me, I think, equally as important. Because my uncle, the people he was bothering with, they were making money, they had cars, they had clothes, they were funny, they were accepted, they were feared, but they were smoking crack and they were smoking heroin. And I thought to myself, wow, so what they taught me in school about drugs and shit is just a lie, because look, they're doing it and it's fine. Like, what? If you look at my uncle now, he's probably 10% away from being that guy on the streets, but at the time he wasn't. And it's about perception, it's about image, isn't it? Like, and we need to show people the full process, the full
it
journey.
Can be literally one decision. Starts that life, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That career ladder.
And again, being around it.
You know, like when your mum's like, oh, don't hang around with him. And she's like, oh, I don't like your mate so-and-so. Don't like him. Don't hang around with him. Do you think the sort of people of our age and older with young kids can see that? But when you're a teenager at the time, you can't.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, fuck off, man. You sound him. But
I do think there's probably people out there who probably get that judgment wrong, and probably they are probably genuine your mates, and you know, they probably are good people, but I would say 99.9% of the time they have that right intuition feeling.
But especially if you know someone or you've been there yourself as well, like, isn't it, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like, you've seen it from a mile.
Like, I got, my boys are 7 and 9, and for us, it's like, it's not an individual or whatever, but every parent's got a kid in the class, and they're like, I don't like that kid. I don't want you to hang around with him.
Yeah, of course. You know,
sometimes though, do you think like that kid who's up to mischief? It's like if you really, I'm
Tap
looking
into
from
it.
like a psychology background now. There's a guy there that just wants to be liked or just wants to fit in.
yeah, James being audible now.
I was
Like,
that kid.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was the kid.
Yeah, but you don't make that.
Mums hated me.
He's,
like, you know?
he's up to no good, but really, like his way of being accepted is entertainment.
Well, how did that make you feel, bro?
Oh, don't
No,
know,
truthfully.
I didn't give a fuck at the time. As you grow up and stuff, like, you get sick of it, but I always knew, I don't know, like...
Well, for you, it's probably had the best effect because you probably point prove and I'm going to show you guys that I'm going to be successful.
It is.
But there are people out there who haven't got that ability to do
You said
that.
it yourself earlier, I know it's a bit of a contradiction, but you said earlier, the naughty kids, the one that's destined to do a fuck all, be a down and out, end
Kick
up on the
on,
street,
man.
always kick ass.
Well,
Fuck
this is
yeah.
why...
Always.
And the ones who are like straight A students
and you
go to university, they're not even doing their degree
That's
anymore.
right.
Bums,
They just
man.
got
Or
they got a massive loan from the uni.
They
mate.
get their degree and they end up working in
Mate,
bins.
that's
Well, that
unis-
is it.
Mate, I could go on a tangent about this, right? But like, I know so many people who go on these sports science degrees in university, sports or whatever.
Yeah.
They're working in retail somewhere.
Yeah.
They're working somewhere else,
Yeah.
and they got like a 30 grand debt or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
it's
And
mad.
I'm like,
It's just mad.
what the fuck, man? I know we could go on a tangent about this.
Scam,
Go on,
innit?
mate,
Scam,
we
innit?
could go into the academic system of the UK, like, but we'll be here all day because
But going back,
Maybe we will one day.
yeah, maybe we will. But going back to this though, like I do believe that kid who's up to mischief, like yourself, you just mentioned Jim Dog, is like the underlying thing is, man, he just wants to fit in. He just wants to be liked, and what he's been taught. And this comes from our parents.
yeah,
Sometimes we crave our parents' attention, so we act out in order to get it. And or the other end of that is if we do get too much attention, we become the other end of it. Maybe spoilt or arrogant or mean. It's a
Too much of nothing is never good, is it? You know, and it's like you said at the beginning about trying to change that stigma. It is like it has been that when I grew up and my mum and dad would give me a tenner to go to town and my mate only had a fucking 50p off his dad, you know, and I had like the nice clothes and he never, and he was like a bit of a naughty kid and I wasn't. You were expecting that kid to be the one who's going to go to drugs.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been. And I'm not saying that there are kids out there, because there are definitely kids out there who have ended up going to drugs because of that lifestyle, but it's not always that, and that's what we need to take away the perception of that this can happen to anyone. It's those people that do my head in are the ones who look down at drug addicts and criminals really, really bad. Just because your grandparents never took drugs or you never took drugs, who's to say that your kids might not have a bad wobble one day and they become the drug addicts? What are you going to say now? And a lot of people have to eat their words because it does happen.
Yeah, for sure. I want to ask you something, and you might never heard about it or never tried it. And you hear, well, people talk about this, going to these ayahuasca retreats and DMT. And I've done DMT, and I thought it was really good for me anyway. But I didn't go to a retreat to do that. I just did it with an Irish bloke in Australia in a bed, in a living room with some meditation music on, and he kind of helped me do it. But like, it's big for people. I don't have I never had a drug or alcohol addiction, but it is renowned to really help people break. Like they'll do this drug, and they come out and they lose their addiction. Have you ever?
It's what do they call it? The bravado killer or something? Is it
ego death?
Ego. I can't. Yeah, it might. Maybe that's
it's like they've seen the real thing. Like why am I doing this to myself?
It's the consistency of the trips, though, isn't it? Like, you know, everyone reports, or that I've seen, seems to report the same trip, the same characters. Do you see Paul Smith, a Scouse comedian?
Oh, he does.
I love him, mate.
Like an Egyptian woman.
I haven't seen him in town.
And he's had the serpent of death on him and all that. And it's about a 20-minute video at the end of a set, and he tells the story of it. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck, I want to try that.
Do you?
I do, but I reckon I'd shit out. See?
Well, as a drug addict, like I was always scared of the trippy drugs. Isn't that mad? But people go, hang on a minute. So you're scared of ketamine, you're scared of LSD, you're scared of but you'll take heroin. And I'm like, yeah. It's mad, isn't it?
I was the same though. I've never done anything like that. Anything psychedelic. Never done any ket or LSD, acid.
But then, you know, that horror story I'm saying about, like, look at him over there. It does work sometimes because I remember the reason I don't want to take it is because I heard of this story, and there's another rumour that Ninja from Cardiff went through this, but I don't know if it's true, but they had a trip and they never come down. And I just can't imagine that, bro. Like, it's just how...
I get you, man.
A particle gets stuck in the spine or something, I know, like an 8-year trip.
But it's just like, it is mad though, because some people, people will do coke, pills, heroin and all of that, and they're like, I'm not too sure with the certain, but a lot of them are uppers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're mushrooms, you know, your psychedelics are like reflections.
I love my downers, That's
mushrooms, I would take them on my own.
I wouldn't do it. I'm
put
too scared.
Put Spotify in your chest. Don't do enough to you're off your rocket. Like, just take enough, a couple of grams. I remember just sitting there, man, and I was like, I just treat this for like, all right, I've got this problem, business, personal, whatever, and I'd be like, how do I figure this out? And they go,
you can do it, can you?
Yeah.
That's mad.
Because I was like there for 3 hours just reflecting on everything.
Well, that's why I take lion's mane. And
yeah.
stuff like that, because that's like mushrooms.
Focus,
and I suppose it helps a bit.
I'm not promoting. I don't want to promote, because the thing is, if somebody said I did it and it fucked me over and they're not right anymore, then that's on them. But
that's the thing with drugs, right? And what you were saying earlier about cannabis, for an example, right? I know people that have smoked cannabis for 30 years daily,
and they're fine.
They have to smoke it, right? And they're fine. I know another lad who smoked it for about 2 or 3 years, and he's very unwell, like very unwell. He's lost his head. I know people that have gone paranoid, and I know people that haven't been affected. Now, I used to smoke it for years. I got, like yourself, a bit weirded out by it, so I stopped. But someone said to me once, the same with all drugs, because again, there's functional heroin addicts out there, isn't it, that have been on skag for 20 years that are absolutely fine. Same with alcohol, same with anything else. And like, the brain and your body and every cell and everything in you is chemistry. Like, you know, if you're an angry person, you have more of chemical A. If you're a soft person, you have more of chemical C. Yeah. Now, drugs are chemicals. Put chemicals with chemicals, you have chemical reactions, don't you? So, in the same way that you can take magic mushrooms and have this reflective psychedelic experience, other people, the chemical reaction goes in a different way. Possibly. I'm not saying that's true, I don't know.
It's common sense.
But like with cannabis, as I say, it's the same with cocaine. Some people go to the fucking moon and they just go mad for it. Other people are like, I don't like it, it's fucking weird. Well, you know?
My father, when I used to argue with him about me smoking weed, I said, why? Like, everyone smokes it. And he goes, yeah, but you're that 0.1% that it would... Because they say weed's fine, it's fine. Like 99.9% of people are okay on weed, and he would say, yeah, but you are that 0.1% that it's gonna fuck over.
Yeah,
and it's the same in recovery as well. Like, it's common sense, really, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, we're all different. Yeah. We're all individuals, and like you said, we're all wired differently. And I truly think that when it comes to recovery as well, this is why I laugh at 10 Steps and NA of them saying it's just their way. Like, with NA and AA and any other CA or 12 steps, if it works for you, good for you. As an ex-drug and alcohol worker, I've referred so many people there, and I will continue to do that. But when it comes to NA, like when you're in there, they will tell you that I'm not clean. It's their way or the highway. Yeah. And if you really think that's how... Like, you got something wrong there, and I'm sorry. Yeah. If it takes you eating fucking Haribos and fucking riding a pony once a day to stay off drugs, then that's your way of being in recovery, mate.
And if this is another way for you, then whatever 100%. Works for you.
Have you ever heard about The Easy Way by Alan Carr? Another comedian.
No.
Is that the smoke? Stop smoking.
Stop smoking, stop vaping, stop cocaine. It's a process. And stop drinking, and stop vaping.
Yeah, how the fuck do you snap all these guys out of vaping? That's the next one.
Mate, honestly, it's fucking evil, these are. Yeah. Evil. I smoked for 20 years. Gave up smoking. Was on mints.
I'll smell them, mate. Smell them. They smell nice, but
mate, I've never been more addicted to nicotine.
Bad, mate.
Can we... there's so many methods to all of these scenarios. And it is, like, the reality is, what works for one works for another, doesn't work for another. And that's how it rolls. I suppose, Carl, I want to know more about you. And I'm going to ask Jim Dog about his journey as well with the businesses, because we are connected through business. And that's what's brought three amazing people together, reality is. But before we get into that, hey everyone, it's Ollie Olds here with a quick word from our incredible sponsor, Pitch Roofer. You know, your home is your castle, and nothing protects that castle better than a solid, reliable roof. That's where Pitch Roofer comes in. They're not just building roofs, they're building trust, community, and peace of mind. Pitch Roofer has been serving our local community for years, and what really sets them apart is their commitment to giving back. From supporting local sport teams to donating to charities. They're making a real difference beyond roofing. Together, we are stronger. Now, if your roof is looking a little worse for wear, or you are thinking it might be time for a full replacement, Pitch Roofer has got you covered with top quality solutions tailored to protect your home and boost that curb appeal. Why should you choose Pitch Roofer? Let me break it down for you. Experienced professionals. These guys know this stuff with years of expertise in residential roofing. Affordable rates, competitive pricing with no hidden costs, high quality materials, durable weather resistant products that stand the test of time. Free inspections, get the condition of your roof checked at no cost. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. They're not happy until you are. So whether it's a repair, a replacement, or you just want a peace of mind your roof is in good conditions, give Pitch Roofer a call on 01656 470016. A text message to 07540 443345 or email gerald@pitchroofer.co.uk. Pitch Roofer, building more than roofs, building a stronger community. Now, back to the show. For yourself, man, I know your journey was from getting into weed, hanging out with your uncle, and then where did it kind of go from there?
Yeah, well, because I was obviously around it so much and it was normal, we've just been speaking about your mum and dad telling you don't hang around with them, and that's true to a large extent. If you hang around with 3 rugby players, you're probably going to want to become a rugby player. If you hang around with 3 musicians, you're probably going to want to become the guitarist of that band. And if you hang around with 3 or 4 drug dealers or drug takers, you're probably going to become one of them as well. And that's what I did. I was desensitized to it. I went out one night with a friend from school, which was quite rare of me during that time because I was just kind of stuck in this lifestyle. And we had a drink. We went half on a bag of Coke, which was like 25 quid back then. And at the end of the night, I went back to the flats. And when I say the flats, in my area, loads of blocks of flats around the shops.
What is your area?
Fairwater,
okay.
Cardiff. And, you know, my dad used to say to me, don't go down those flats. There's nothing good's down there. And most of the people who live in those flats are not from Fairwater. They're vulnerable people who have been moved in, you know. Every day's the same day. Monday and Saturdays are the same day. So there's always parties going on and stuff. But my uncle had a flat down there as well, and someone he was selling drugs from was there as well. So I ended up going to a flat in the same block as that. It was a party, and they were all in there. And just to paint a picture, when I say this, you have got a young girl who's 19, whose flat it is. You've got 2 of the boys from the council estate who have been drinking all day. They're in there drinking and smoking weed in the kitchen. You've got a workman in his high-vis, hasn't gone home, right? He's just got his pay packet Friday night, you know, and he's in there fucking sniffing coke, yeah? You've got every type of person in here from the area going to this flat because there's a party. And it was one of them nights. And they were smoking crack in there. Now, I've just done a documentary for Drugs Map of Britain about a year ago about how crack cocaine is a real epidemic in Wales, South Wales, especially the UK, I would imagine, where normal people who would normally be flat out on coke, they're just smoking crack now. Like, it's just the norm. Wow. Yeah, you're working class people who graft every day are out with a massive coke problem, yeah? And that's what it was. They were all smoking crack in there. And that was what it was. And basically, I tried crack for the first time in there. Someone said to me, do you want to have a go? And it was on a can. And I thought, you know what? People say to me, like, well, you just tried crack. And again, I've been around it for a year now. I've seen the type of people I've given the drugs to, businessmen, pretty women, the drug addict who lives on the streets, every type of person. So I'm thinking it can't be that bad if these people are doing it as well. And I already had a bit of alcohol in my system. I had a bit of coke in my system. And I tried it. I remember blowing it out and straight away having this mad euphoric rush, and it was just really intense. My ears were ringing. I was getting dizzy. The music was slowing down. And I felt great. But then after about 2 minutes, I really started to get a bad turn, similar to the turn I had with the weed, but 100 times worse. So obviously with OCD, you know, cocaine is a stimulant. So it basically magnified my problems. And I went to the kitchen to pick up a kitchen knife because I actually thought everyone in there was after me. And the boy who gave me the crack, he went, come back here, bro, come have a puff of this. And he had a spliff. And I went, bro, I ain't smoking weed, bro. It just make me worse. He went, no, it's laced with gear. And I looked at him like, and the look I gave him, he went, no, don't worry, bro. It's not gonna get you addicted. You got to smoke it every day for at least a week to get addicted to it. And when I say gear, I mean heroin. Now, just to make it clear, that is what happens. If you smoke heroin every single day for a week, you will then start to get that physical addiction where you're going to cluck for it and shiver. And same as if you took strong cocodamol, tramadol, dihydrocodone, morphine. If you took that for a long time, you would withdrawal coming off it, yeah? But what people don't talk about is it actually has a psychological addiction, the same as crack and every other drug. I had 2 puffs of it in a spliff, not injected, not on the foil, in a spliff, and bam! I went from this guy who was like, I don't even know how to describe it, like, but literally imagine like you're thinking you're gonna die to you're just safe, you're wrapped in cotton wool, you're warm, you know, I think it's the most comforting place ever. That is where you are right there and then, and it was like a light switch, something so instant, powerful, and I just was like, wow, I'm okay. And I remember going home that night thinking, fuck, am I a heroin addict? Bit of a panic. And then the next day, I felt really paranoid as well, thinking, oh my God, am I going to be ill? Am I going to be ill? I'm now a junkie. Nothing happened. And then after a couple of days, that worry went away. And all that came to my mind was, that was fucking beautiful. That was powerful. And I don't know when, but I'm going to try it again, you know? And that's how it was. And then it was about a process then of about a year of, I called dancing with the devil, which was, I'd have a smoke every now and then. I'd have one smoke, leave it. 2 weeks later, I'd have another smoke, leave it. You know, and it started monthly on a payday. Then it went fortnightly. Then it went weekly. And then I remember when I actually started smoking it for like a couple of days straight, I actually got paid out of a job I was working in. I had a bit of money left. My uncle, for a long time, didn't know about it, but he had ideas. But then when he did find out about it, he used that to his advantage. And he would make out like he was upset that I was using heroin. But it was like, if you're going to use it, at least use it around me. So then what it was like, it was like, he was blacklisting drug dealers, so I couldn't buy it. So like a good person would, like a good uncle would. But if you want it, you have to come to me. At least I know you're safe. And so like, I'd have to give you my money to score.
He's making money off.
So he's just smoking all my drugs and giving me a couple lines at the end, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I remember having that bender, and I woke up the next morning with a physical addiction. I was sick. I was on the toilet, couldn't get off the toilet, real stabbing pains, cold, shivering. And I remember ringing him saying, what the fuck's wrong with me? And instead of saying, don't worry, it's okay, we're going to sort it out, he just laughed at me. Said, you fucking dickhead. And he hung up the phone. And I rung back again. I said, Anthony, what am I going to do? Please help me. Like, and he said, come down to the flat. And he went down to the flat, and he was there booting on the foil, smoking the heroin on the foil, chasing the dragon. And I sat there for ages, ill as fuck, really in pain. And he was just watching me. Like, it was as if he took pleasure out of it. And then eventually he said, you are, and he gave me the line. And I remember, like, I was like, it was horrible. I was spewing up. I couldn't control my stomach, and he was like, just get it in you. And I remember trying to have the first line, and I spoffed it back up because I was sick, and he went, get it in you. And I remember him like looking at me like, fucking get it in you. And then I remember taking the first line, and as soon as I had that line, again, like, it was just went away. It's mad, like, and I think that's like one of the biggest draws to it. It's not like that first time you have it in that buzz. It's when you actually have that physical addiction, and then you take it, and how quickly it just... Yeah. And then that was it, mate. 12 years of chaos. Absolute chaos.
What's your relationship with your uncle now?
Fucked up.
Do you
Is
like
he
him?
still around in the area?
I love him to bits, mate.
Genuine?
He is like the funniest guy I've ever met in my life. I love him, but I hate him as well.
Fuck.
You know, it's a mad one. We've had like some personal issues last year around Christmas time. Done something very naughty, but it's mad. I've done prison sentences with him. Me and him pad mates. Like, try I mean.
What you go down for?
So I was, for people who don't know, shoplifting was my main way of making money. I was, I am labelled one of Britain's most prolific shoplifters. It's not a label I'm proud of, but at the same time, I like to remind people because I really want to prevent and inspire others to get away from that life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, for the first couple of years, it was just desperation. It was borrowing money, robbing friends of mine, like literally like burning all my bridges. When all those taps kind of turned off, I then started, I didn't want to be a criminal. Like, I didn't want to be a criminal. You know, I didn't want to hurt anyone. I'm not a violent guy or nothing like that. So I used to try and find ways how could I make money without physically hurting people. I used to pretend I was a student, like a lost student. And I'd go to like Treforest, Bristol, Cardiff, to these campuses, pretend I was trying to get back to my halls, back in Cardiff or back in Treforest or back to Bristol, hang around the town centres, blagging people for money. And, you know, I made lots of money doing it, like, because I actually didn't look like a drug addict. And if I continued doing that, I probably never would have went to jail, like, you know, but I'm glad that I didn't carry it on because I needed to go to jail to go through this journey I'm on now, like, you know. So when I got with this girl one day, who I was with for about a year, she had a car, and that was when I discovered shoplifting properly. I shoplifted before that, the odd bit of fucking meat out of a shop.
We've all done that though, right? Fuck, I used to rob Red Bull cans and that.
Yeah, exactly.
We've all done stuff like that.
But to actually, like,
Not meat though.
Not well.
you're like a Mars bar and a Red Bull, like, yeah.
Not like chicken breast. Or anything.
Yeah.
But I
That's what I want. Yeah.
Tesco's Extra we used to take.
Mars
bits.
Delights. Do you remember
We
Mars
used to-
Delights?
Meal deals.
I used to fucking
We used to
rob them,
meal deals. We used to walk from home from school, and we had actually a boy in my street. He was from Cardiff, and he was in Bridgend now. And mate, he was like levels on us. So, and he was older than us, the cool kid, you know, when they're older. And he'd go in the, he'd have a bag, mate, and he just boom, boom, boom. I was like, what? It's like, what did I just see? And then next thing you're like,
Well, that's addictive.
Is it that
in itself,
easy?
though, isn't it?
It's that easy.
Yeah,
We were like teenagers, and
It's addictive as well, yeah. That became an addiction in itself.
sorry, man. I'm really intrigued about your story, bro. So keep going.
So I just I became this fucking like mad shoplifter, like, do you know what I mean, who travelled the country.
What's up, guys? This podcast is brought to you by U-Test. U-Test provides clinically accurate, rapid home testing kits for a variety of medical conditions and deficiencies. Designed for convenience, these tests deliver results in just 5 minutes, eliminating the need to wait days or weeks for lab results. The range includes tests for prostate PSA levels, bowel cancer screening, onset menopause to fertility, and more. All tests are available with the next day delivery at www.utest.co.uk. Use the code 0010 for 10% off your order. Now let's go back to the episode. But what was the I know, without flexing on this, what was like your maddest shoplift?
Oh mate, it's hard to say, man. I've done some big hauls like in a day, like I've just battered towns, like they don't know what's it. Like I was a one-man crime wave. I'm looking at that Boots Opticians right by there. See all the frings?
Yeah.
I emptied the whole wall.
No way.
What, in that Boots?
That Boots by there.
Oh, actually, that one in Bridgend? Fucking hell.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every optician's in South Wales I've done.
What have you got on though?
Who the fuck buys the glasses?
So I've got
It's got Ray-Bans
I've got
everywhere.
fences,
fair enough spec.
Well,
like,
drug dealers used to buy them off me as decoys. They used to like wearing the Ray-Bans and stuff, like, or, you know, but I would sell to like individuals sometimes if I wanted to get more for my money, but I was an addict. I didn't want to wait around holding goods on me and trying to get an extra 20, 30 quid. I wanted it gone in one. So I had fencers, middlemen, people who would buy and they would sit on it and they would sell it at half the price. So I ended up selling them at a third of the price. With the frames, I was selling them at like £30, £40 in bulk. So I'd walk out of Boots Opticians with like 10 pairs of Ralph frames, 10 pairs of Ray-Bans, 10 pairs of Gucci's, 10 pairs of YSLs, 10 pairs of Chloe's, 10 pairs of Bulgaris. I'd walk out of a Specsavers or a Vision Express or whatever with like 40 pairs of frames at like £300 a frame. So I'd walk out of a shop with like 10 grand, like, and this is why they estimated like I stole millions in retail. But I never made millions. People seem to think, well, if you stole millions, you must be a millionaire. And you're like, no, mate. I was a fucking smackhead. Like I would make 2-3 grand a day, and I'd ask my mum for a cigarette the next morning because I had nothing left.
Mad. That's so mad.
You know,
what a world, bro.
Yeah. And what I used to do in like the Specsavers, if the shop was like easy and it was busy, I'm just going bop, gone. Most of them didn't even have CCTV, and if you're doing it out of the country in England, like you're not getting a comeback. Yeah. But during lockdown, I had to kind of switch the game up a little bit, and people thought like it was game over for me, but that was actually my most lucrative time, because during lockdown, the weather was boiling hot, so everyone wanted fucking sunglasses. And everyone became an alcoholic, so I was just selling alcohol and sunglasses. And they were open, so like cooperatives, which were like, you know, one of my favourites, they have alcohol on shop floor. You know, and I'd walk out. I think the record, I walked out of a shop, and I would never carry a bag either.
Yeah, what do you? Yeah, I was gone.
So I always had like heavy Barber trench coats and stuff like that, which got like pockets there, pockets in your pockets on the back, suicide bomb 4 bottles there. Like, do you know what I mean? I'd even walk out with 2 in my hand if I had to. Like, do you know what I mean? And yeah, there's nothing worse than seeing a guy with a Sports Direct bag. You just know what he's doing, don't you? So I never used to have a bag.
You were going to say, what did you walk out from that co-op with?
So there's a cooperative up in Treherbert. I walked out of there with 19 bottles without a bag.
Fucking hell. You're clunking while you walk. Cling, cling. I shouldn't laugh. Fuck me, mate. That's impressive as well.
But with the Specsavers and stuff, so what I was doing was, say, like, I'd go to Hereford, and it was 1 in, 1 out at the time. Or, like, you'd have a queue, and it'd be, like, 4 in at max, like, do you know what I mean? But you had to queue, and, like, 2 would come out, like, well, come on in, 2 of you in. So I'd go in there, and so before I would walk in, all right, we're in Hereford, so I'd look for a street in Hereford, just a random street. All right, that's my address, Cherry Tree Close, whatever, yeah. So I'd go in, bit of an accent, because when I used to tap as well, someone came up to me the other day and said, mate, see you, mate. He said, I saw you in town with an American accent getting 50 quid off a Chinese girl. That's what I used to do. Like,
you're good. I get,
yeah. So, like, I remember going into Hereford with this, like, bit of a farmer accent and all that, and can I get my eye tested? Like, you know, like one of them.
The great are good.
Yeah, the great are good. I was like, can I get my eyes tested? And they were like, yeah. Name? Russell Hobbs. I always give a fake name. Cherry Tree Close, Hereford, HR, whatever it is, the postcode. So I'd sit there then for 20 minutes. Yeah. You'd be playing the long game now, like, but you know, what people need to understand is, I never wanted to get caught. I never wanted to roll around with security. I wanted to get in, get out, without getting noticed, so I can go and have my drugs, and hopefully come back in a couple of months' time and do it again. Yeah. You know, so if I ruin it, I can't. That shop's done. Yeah. So, but during this lockdown with lockdown, I had to switch it up. So I would go in there. I was given a fake name, given an address, doing the eye tests, and then I'd say, "Do you mind if I have a look at your sunglasses and your frames?" And they're like, "Yeah, of course." They'd unlock so the glasses, the frames were always on shop floor, right? They're unlocked. Even sunglasses in some places, like a Vision Express, they're normally open. Specsavers, they're on the floor. Some of them might be locked away, and they would unlock it, and they would just leave you to it then. He's give us his name. He's give us his fucking house address. He's obviously not a fucking thief. So then they just let me do my thing, and I just go and walk out. And that's what I was doing in all the opticians I'd go to. So
is that a plan you followed, or did you come up with that?
I came up with it.
Isn't it inventive though, isn't it? Like,
mate, there's the most.
I do loads like that. Like,
but like, it's incredible because there's those famous sayings, every influencer in the world says them, you know, a crackhead can get up and earn £2,000 a day.
they're the biggest grafters.
Yeah,
man.
Give that crackhead energy, like, you know, for business owners and stuff. But like,
it's true, man.
Imagine applying that to.
I'm trying, mate.
And that's what you're doing now, of course.
Hey,
but
man,
like,
I was going to say.
but like, how inventive is that?
It is, yeah, and that's why I try and tap into other addicts or other people who are kind of struggling to use their lived experience for the better, you know. It's, you know, I'd always go in. I didn't want to walk out without not paying for something. So even if I had £1 to buy a pack of chewing gums, at least they know in like, oh, that guy came in and he walked out with nothing. At least I've gone in and bought something. It kind of throws them off a little bit. Yeah. You know, I don't want to just empty the shelf and run out. Yeah. I want to take enough and bring them forward. Yeah. So if they do clock stock checkout 2 days later, at least they're not going to go back for CCTV. Whether if they just think, fuck, that was full a minute ago, quick, get on the CCTV, they would find you, wouldn't they? But if they didn't clock for a couple of days,
it's too late.
It's too late, yeah. And I've done all sorts. Me and my driver, man, we used to go out with no tax, no MOT. You know,
how are you getting around with that one though,
bro? We writ a car off. We were in Malvern and we writ a car off this woman, yeah, right. And the car we had, right, it was like a Volkswagen, like a long Volkswagen, and every like 10 minutes it would go clunk, and it would cut out. So every time I'd have to go into I'm not a mechanic, but I'd have to go under the car and like put this thing on, and it would start again. And we've only writ this fucking car off, right? The woman bumped into the back of her. She's come out, we're like, oh, sorry. My driver, my mate, he goes, oh, we'll pull in by here, look, we'll pull in by here. So we pulled, she went, okay. He goes, just drives off like that. We think, we're gone. We're like, oh, fuck for that. We're at the lights now. Next thing you know, she's behind us chasing us, bro, right? It was like a bad dream. You know those bad dreams where you try and get away, but you just can't get away?
It's like you're beating someone up.
We were dusting around these lanes in Malvern for about an hour, and every like 10 minutes, our car we'd get away from her, the car would clunk out, I'd have to get under and do this. Here she is, she's back. And she was on the phone giving the address, but I've been T-packed in by police, and we've been arrested. We've been rammed off the road. I've been arrested in Bridgend. We were doing Ammanford the one time. We battered West Wales. We were coming back. We got to by Lanharry. We got boxed in, brought back to Bridgend headquarters. That was one of the last ones actually before I got clean. But like I've literally, I remember the one time we got arrested, just being greedy. Done the all of like Lydney, Colford, Cinderford, all like the Forest of Dean, up to Hereford. And then on the way back, we just stopped off in Ross on Wye, and we didn't need to. We had like, the glove compartment was full of frames, sunglasses. The back of the car, the boot was full of alcohol, top shelf, £50 bottles clanking. The back was full of aftershaves and Yankee candles. And then we were like, let's just go Ross on Wye, because there's a camping shop there. And I went in there, we came out with like about 6 Rab coats, 6
Aquascutum?
No, not Acrotex, is it? With a little skeleton. It's like a proper expensive jacket. Like, came out with like 4 of them, put them in the hatch, that we had like the hatch thing on the roof, put them in there. I was like, I'm going back in. And I went back in again, and someone must have seen me, got the number plate. We thought we were home and dry. Everything was sold already before we got home. And when we got to Celtic Manor roundabout, transport police there waiting for us, 3 cars. And he was like, he wanted to go straight to Cardiff. And if I get arrested in Cardiff, without a doubt, because I'm a prolific offender, they would just remand me. And I said, Jay, please go back around the roundabout and go to the McDonald's in Undy, you know, on the... So he went, no, I'm going back to Cardiff. I said, listen, if we go now to Cardiff, we won't know if they're following us or not. They could take us the whole way before pulling us. I said, but if we go around the roundabout again, if they come round, we know they're for us. And we went around and they were for us, like they took us. But I got bail for that, madly enough. But yeah, like, look, people would say, you're obviously not a good shoplifter, you got caught. I was stealing every single day. Even if I still had money on me, I would go out the next day. I just had this addiction in the end of it. And yeah, so I had 6 prison sentences for it, and then I've been recalled a few times for missed appointments. I think I've done about 11 prison sentences in total.
Wow.
I've done about 3.5 years behind the door. But for what I've made, money-wise, it was worth it. And this is why I was on LBC radio the other day speaking about the shoplifting epidemic, because the reward outweighs the punishment. It's a slap on the wrist. The police are calling it a petty crime, but when you look at the money that's being taken out of businesses, it's not petty.
Nah.
And I just want people to know this, if this is the first time you're watching me, I don't condone in any of it. And, I'm just so open and honest about it, because I hope that this will prevent others from doing what I done, and shopkeepers can tighten their security. If you want to speak to me, if your shop's getting battered, give me a shout. I do offer advice, and
you could do consulting.
I've done it for.
Well, we're gonna do a video for Amex on it.
I was gonna say, you two guys,
because we should go round. We should go round shops, mate.
Legitimately, though, we're not just going to go into.
Explain Amex first of all, before we get into. Explain Amex so people who are listening go, okay, what is it? What do we do?
So we basically, the three of us sat around here today is ultimately due to our relationship through security. Basically, obviously, I did some coaching with you all, and was being able to sort of accelerate business and put my head back straight. So Amex is a CCTV business, and under that we have Haven, which is our domestic arm basically, and we do home security and stuff. Haven and Amex really sponsor Cullan and the Central Club, and
amazing what you do, by the way.
Thank you, brother.
Man, what was that install you did at that guy's house recently? Duncan, mate. That was amazing.
Duncan was the man.
So shall I just give a quick run through what it was?
Yeah, go for it.
Just Talbot Green, if any of you know about Talbot Green, there was a shooting there last year, a tragic incident, but this is just one incident that's highlighting the place. It's had problems now for quite some time because it's Talbot Green. People think it's a nice place. There's some huge problems down there, and there's a man called Duncan Simpson who has cerebral palsy. He's very vulnerable. He's been robbed. He's been beaten, and he's actually never slept in his bed now for 4 years because he feels safer and more equipped if anything happened to him, sat in his wheelchair, which is horrendous.
Terrible.
And what we done with my brother here, we fitted him up with a state-of-the-art system. And, that's not going to prevent things totally, but that has really helped him a lot, mate, I think. And he was so surprised when...
Yeah, it's for his... he feels safer. It's peace of mind, isn't it? So ultimately, that's what we do. Obviously, I started watching Cullen doing his vlogs where he goes out into communities, deprived areas, etc., to sort of sow awareness of how people live. And ultimately, we thought, well, it's in line with what we do from a home security point of view. And so basically, I fanboyed you, didn't I? I Instagrammed him and said, look, this is what we're all about. Give him a sort of description about what we do at Haven. And we just wanted to sponsor you and jump on board.
I was actually sponsored by another security firm before. I won't name names. There's no point doing that. But, when it comes to sponsors, mate, I really want to fucking work with these people. And if someone's sponsoring me, I ain't taking any old sponsor. I've got to believe in it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I've turned down some sponsors because it just doesn't fit my ethos, or I just don't think it'll work, and if I work with someone, it's got to make sense, and obviously with Weekend Defender, to me, they epitomise who I am, do you know what I mean? And the people I'm trying to appease, to appeal to as well, Vortex Competitions, they do a lot of good work in communities as well, they give a lot back to charity. Haven Alarms, there's so many crossovers, and the one that's just dawned on me now is that, I am an ex-shoplifter. I do help with security in places, and it just makes total sense. Yeah. But also because I believe in what they're doing and protecting people. And when he approached me, he won me over straight away when he spoke about the vlogs going into communities. And I do speak to a lot of vulnerable people, and it's not just the old person, it's the youngsters as well. There's kids out there now, and people are scared for their kids to go out. We're seeing let's burst the bubble of where we are now. We're in Great Britain, where there's a lot of shitty things going on right now, and kids are vulnerable, women are vulnerable, the elderly, everyone's vulnerable. Yeah. And if we can, number one, raise awareness, make people safe, and in the process give the odd giveaway as well, then of course I'm going to be involved, mate.
It's exactly what you just said then with Jim as well. One thing when we got to know each other, man, was like, man, he's got a hell of you got a massive drive about you, but you just love helping people as well. And what you've done with Armex and now Haven, and like the other day we just did giveaway to 3 people. Like you just impacted 3 people's lives with alarms.
Oh, with the doorbell giveaway.
Doorbell giveaway.
Yeah.
But it is a massive one, integrity in the business. And Jim, the funny thing, right, when we were working together, without too much going into it, you were ready to up and sell shop, weren't you? And then you've gone and added another business.
I listed that. But it was a year ago, last November, just about a year ago, I put it up for sale with basically an estate agent for businesses. My head was cooked. I was done with it. I was honestly, mate, I was fed up.
And is that when you two cross paths?
Yeah, so I went. I'm quite a reactive person, so if there's something wrong, I'll try everything I can to fix it. Like I had insomnia, and I just for months, it wasn't like, oh, I've got insomnia. Maybe we were talking earlier about negative sort of things and just how people avoid them. If there's something wrong, you've got to fix it. So if I can't sleep, then I have to fix it. So is it doing this? No, that didn't work. Try this, try that, until you fucking fix it. So with my head and mindset back in November, it was cooked. I was like, I can't be asked anymore. I had no love for what I did. Suppliers done my head in, customers, staff, everything. I was just like, there's got to be more to life than this. I was doing okay financially, but I thought I'm going to sell this operation.
Probably wasn't happy with what he was doing at the time.
I wasn't. There was certainly something wrong. But again, I thought, well, this isn't me. I've done this at the time for 10 years. I thought, well, I'm going to have to do something about this mindset. Because again, without trying to, in fact, it's absolutely not giving it the big one, because the value I thought it was worth, it weren't even worth half of it. It weren't worth a cup of cold piss compared to what I thought it was. So, A, it weren't worth selling it. And then B, the fact that I wanted to sell it, I was off at home. My missus would say you're off, and I was just off. So I went to see Ollie, and like, I'll be honest with you, the whole coaching game and coaching.
Yeah, it's very Americanized.
Like, come on, mate. Do you know what I mean? But I thought, well, I've tried everything else. Like, what's journaling? I'm going to write some shit down in a book. I was going to save my life, because the guy on Instagram said, like, I'm not that guy. Do you know what I mean? So I thought, well, I've exhausted every other avenue. So I followed Ollie on social media, and I thought, he seems like he's got some vibes, this guy. That's why I call you the vibes man. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to see him. And we did. And that's when we started working together. And the irony is, like you said, within, is it 3 or 4 months?
4 months. Oh, 3 or 4? Yeah.
3 or 4 months. Haven was born, and I'm back in it. I was, my insomnia went. I was happy at home. Training was consistent. I started running again. I was just, back on the ball, just from speaking to a guy once a week. This isn't sales for Ollie, by the way, but it is. And he was like, fucking hell, fair play. And then my business partner, Luke.
Yeah, I love Luke.
I was, 2 weeks in? And I was like, mate, Luke needs this man. Like Luke needs to speak to this guy. So I was like, Luke, you're seeing my business coach. I can't even say it, like it kills me. But you have to see this guy. And he's like, I don't know, man, I'm not into all that. I'm like, I ain't into all that, but you're going to have to see this guy. So, and I just paid for it. I was just like, fuck it, I don't care, I'm paying for it. And within 2 weeks, mate, Luke's missus, is messaging him like,
thank you.
You've changed my fucking life. And he just changed, and we both and then the energy was just insane. And then we were like, right, what we got to do? Because our business was set up in a certain way before, which was great, it was profitable, but there was no value there, which is why the sale price I would have achieved had we pushed it through was low, because the value wasn't there. There was no second tier management. There was not enough recurring revenue. It was just some dudes making money. Do you know what I mean? And we've just went, right, what's the answer? So we discussed it, talked about it, brainstormed. Ollie's got involved, and we were like, Haven, we need to do something that we care about. Because I'll be honest, selling CCTV to supermarkets and garages and industry, wicked, we've been doing it for 10 years. Buy a system, yeah, cool, sell it, yeah, pay for it, cool, happy days. We'll do some maintenance, wonderful, next. It was just shit. There's no passion there, there was no spark, there was no ignition, it was just passively selling stuff and making money, so we decided we want to build something. So although the mindset with Armex itself, again on the commercial side, is improved dramatically, and you know, we're excited about that again, and we're passionate about it again, and we love our customers, love our staff, love everyone. It's all back to the goodness. The Haven side of it, which is a brand underneath Armix, it's not a separate company. It's our brand for home security. You know, we've designed it so that it's affordable to anyone. Because like you said, these people in these communities, they can't, you know, they haven't got the money to go, oh, I need an alarm. Oh, you know, my kids are getting bullied, or there's a dodgy guy hanging around in the back alley all the time. I don't feel safe. I haven't got, you know, $1,000 to chuck at a security system. I can't afford cameras. But like, if you can pay 20 quid a month, then you can.
You have the camera system, though. Do you have cameras as well?
Yeah, yes. It's so Haven's made up of CCTV, intruder, and
Panic.
what did I just say? CCTV, intruder, doorbells. The panic system as well as a function off
Of one of them, yeah.
off the intruder alarm, like, you know. So again, if your daughter's in university and she's in Birmingham University and she's walking through the streets after a night out, the beauty is that she can set the house alarm off.
Mad, isn't it?
You know?
So good, sir.
Mum and Dad
So
are in
good.
Cardiff going, fucking hell, what's going on? Check the phone, right. Julie, whatever.
on
it
New
is.
Street,
Yeah, she's on XYZ Street. There's the pin. Ring her. You know, is she answering? No. Right, what's the plan? Ring the police. You know, you've got a pin, you've got some information, you know what's happening live.
You can literally hit the Google Maps, isn't it? And it takes you straight.
The thing is people are saying, like, you know, they're saying, like, well, why wouldn't she just get her phone out and just do, mum, ring? Like,
Well, but I've been in so many situations in my life where, like, I want to cry out and get help, but I can't ring because it will bake the whole situation.
If you've got an Apple Watch on and you go, dude, that's all you got to do.
Yeah, you're not on the phone going, Mum or Dad, quickly help.
You could be with someone that you don't want to. Yeah.
You ain't going to be like, Mum, some dodgy guys following me. You can hear, you'd be like, oh, fuck, dude. And like,
it's discreet.
It's fucking good, and we believe in it. Yeah. Like, a lot of people in business and sales and whatever they do, they just sell it because they got to sell it.
100%.
It's meaningless, though, isn't it?
It's just like, and that's where we were like,
well, that's what it is, isn't it? How many things do you try and sell? Which is,
but
like,
if you can do something you believe,
you can lift that up as well.
I don't even know if this is going to work. Like,
but like, if you can do something, monetize it, you believe in it, because look, we want to make money. Like, we ain't a charity.
On the bend, on the angle. Sorry,
he's fucked the
retard.
If you lift that, it should raise up. Just hold that, and then lift it up. It should lift up. It's an Allen.
Oh, that one you mean?
No. That way.
He was doing this with me for 20 minutes.
Yeah, all right, just talk as you are. All right, but we got this so far.
Like, you know, we're not a charity. I ain't trying to be Jesus out here, like, but we got to make money, and obviously it's a business, and ultimately I want to make as much money as we possibly can.
Yeah,
but I think we want to do that in a way that everyone benefits.
Well, just to interject there, like, I find it so fascinating that people do not question anyone with business if it's benefiting just them. Fair play, smashing it, whatever it is. As soon as you do something that has a form of charitable work as well, they question it. Yeah. It's like with me.
There's an agenda, isn't there?
Like, I'm raising awareness on things, and it's a job. Oh, he's just doing it for money. Like, he's doing it for... Well, at least I'm doing something good with the money. Like, how many people have selfish jobs and don't benefit
doing it for
anyone?
the money and the
hate their
the
jobs.
giving back, like, but there's always a guy who works in fucking Lidl's, isn't it? That gives you the grief, like.
But the thing is,
not there's anything wrong with working in Lidl's.
No, but the thing is, right, is like everyone needs money to live. But the biggest thing is, man, if you're leaving an impact on people.
100%.
If you like, I love going to work every day, going, right, I'm going to work with so and so today. I'm not just leaving him in a better position. His wife's going to love him more. His family's going to love him more. He's a better father for his children. There's the same concept with what we're doing with Haven. Okay, I'm keeping a family safe. When I keep a family safe, I know I've got a happy family at home. When I have a happy family at home, I keep a happy environment. You got to be leaving an impact on this place. Otherwise, it's meaningless.
Yeah. Quite right. And again, that's why we do, like, when I first spoke to Cullan, the first thing I said was, mate, what I want to do when you're out in these communities, say you're in, you know, wherever, Penrhys, and you see a family who are genuinely fucking up against it, like, and, you know, you can
see, that's better.
Once a month,
cheers, mate.
You can give away a system to these people. Keep going. And we'll install it for free. Yeah, and so
I love it, mate.
So ultimately, it is, it's good exposure for us. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's obvious we want the exposure as well, but we also and mainly want to be able to provide those things for people.
And that's what's key about why I think we work so well together, because we both have the same mission. We both clearly want to be successful. I want to be successful. I want to grow. You know, I want to show people that people like myself who have that past can achieve in life. And if I do what I do without being successful, then half of the journey isn't being fulfilled. No. I want people to look at me and say, wow.
You're still going to live, so haven't you?
Yeah, I want to actually, like, this guy is actually, he has got a criminal record. He has done some bad things. He has struggled and still does. But he's actually, not only is he living his life, he's successful. Yeah. So I want to show that. But at the same time, like you said, actually make an impact, like Ollie's just said.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's I mean, you must have a vendetta, though, against, like, people who have said, you ain't going to be fuck all. Because you probably had that more than the average man. So you're going to be, like, incentivized and juiced up to make that happen more than anyone else, and that's commendable.
There is that, but there's also, like, you probably think there's individual faces I got on a dartboard and all that shit. There's not.
It's just
like, but it is because this happens so many times. Because this happens so many times, and so many people have said it. There's, like, if I close my head, there's, like, prison officers, there's teachers, there's people I grew up with, there's drug addicts who I've met, who I bothered with, who said I'm a no, but, you know, there's so many people who have done it. No, I was a very envious person as well, very jealous person, and when you are on drugs and you're addicted and you ain't got anything going for yourself, they are the most jealous and envious people, and I was one of those guys. I'm not as much now. Nowhere near, you know, like, I don't think I even got that in me anymore. I want people to be successful. I want people to do well.
Yeah, I love that. I noticed that when I met you a couple of weeks ago, man. I'm big on just picking up on people's vibe and energy. Very just chill, man. You've got a real relaxed mentality about you, and you haven't got a vendetta or anger. Like, you pick it up on energy. You know what I mean? Have you ever gone in a house before, right? And you've opened the door, and there's this fucking tension in the room without even words being spoken. You're like,
it's off in here.
Yeah, it's off in here. But then when we met you, I was like, and you spoke highly about Cal as well.
And you spoke highly about Ollie.
I appreciate
it. We were like,
let's circle jerk each other here. Come on. But what I want to ask you.
It was, isn't it? Like, because the one you just said about Luke is what you said. You need to meet Ollie, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Literally.
Appreciate that, man.
And we've got a mad connection as well, because, like, my brother
Brad, yeah.
So it's
when you told me that the Brad was your brother, I was like, what? I just didn't do the dots, and then Lewis Reese, and then before you know it, man, the circle's small, and
Isn't it mad though?
Your brother was a really good player though, really good. And I know he's still doing bits, and he down in
locally.
No,
he is. He's great. He was a good player, man. It's sad, isn't it?
Can I ask you though? It is what it is, bro. But does okay when we say
one day, I hope he will, you know, do like because he's not a public guy. Like, he doesn't really do all this. He started doing food reviews with me, which has been fucking. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I think it would be great for him to one day tell his story, because there's definitely value and a lesson to be learned there as well, which you know.
Yeah, man. There's loads of stories. But I value everyone, and I hear a lot as well. Like, we all know that one person who should have made it but didn't make it because they just didn't have X, Y, and Z. It's just so many of them. Carl, I want to ask you as well, man. What was the moment of I've got to change things here? Where did that penny drop moment for you?
Well, it didn't drop when it didn't drop when I saw my mum's wedding ring. It didn't drop when I saw my grandmother's wedding ring. It didn't drop when I went to prison. It didn't drop when I went to hospital. It didn't drop when I got my ex-girlfriend on heroin. It was none of those things which you probably think, whoa, this is wake up time, Carl. It was the time I least expected it. It was when I almost died, basically. I got rushed to hospital. I was in hospital for a month with pleurotic pneumonia, pleurisy, water on the lungs. And whilst I was in there, I then caught sepsis. And that was my rock bottom, you know. And all the other times I thought they were rock bottoms. Oh, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna fucking change. I used to cry in the police cells. Can I ring my old man? And I'd cry to my dad. My dad said, "You're a fucking idiot. Look at you. Fucking every time you do this." But they were always so supportive, like, do you know what I mean? And yeah, just that was it. Like, some people know, some people don't. I've never been I've never hid it. My co-defendant, the technical terms, my co-defendant, my partner in crime, let's say, he passed away. And the same day he passed away, I got rushed to hospital and almost died. I was in the hospital bed for, like I said, a couple of weeks. And they called my family, said it was during like the restrictions as well, so they couldn't just come in. But they were all told that this could be it. Like, we don't know. They were trying to flush me out with the infections, with like 2 in this arm, 2 in that arm, steroids, antibiotics, changing it up. Just wasn't working. I had a oxygen mask on. Every time I took it off, I stopped breathing. So I actually thought if I ever did get out of hospital, I would probably have one of those oxygen masks. I remember when they took me in for my x-ray and they said, right, listen, you've basically got an infection in your lung. And like when they showed me the picture, it was all black and there was like this little white dot in the corner. And I was like, I guess that's the infection there. And they were like, no, mate, that's the only remaining bit that's clean. Your whole lung is fucked. And both of them. And I was like, wow, okay, what do we do? And they were, we're trying to flush you out, but it's not budging. We're going to try the old-fashioned way, you know, which was... Is that on?
Yeah, bro. I just checked.
I know, you flapped me out.
No, sorry, mate.
Could you fucking imagine
these
it?
just quickly, on a serious note, this is, but they're quite good, aren't they? They don't time out, they don't burn out.
Nah, bro.
Decent.
Don't jinx, touch wood, yeah. Keep going, brother. I'm loving this story. I was buying in.
Yeah, so
The lung.
I looked at the lung and I was like, wow, what are we doing? They were like, well, we're trying to push it out. It's not going anywhere. And then, like, it was the longest time ever, bro, in there, man, honestly. And I'm on the B7 ward in Heath Hospital. Everyone around me is 60, 70 plus. And there's me, this 28-year-old kid with breathing problems and my lungs fucked. And they said, we're going to have to try and withdraw this. So they were taking me in this room with this big fucking needle like this, putting it in my back and trying to draw the fluid out, and it just wasn't working. I think that's how I caught sepsis then, because they came in a couple of days later saying you got sepsis as well. And with my OCD and my rituals, obviously, that was the first time in my life that I actually replayed everything I'd done. I kind of reflected on things whilst I was in prison, but it was the first time ever that I actually started from the beginning and went through everything I'd done. And I was an emotional wreck as well. I was on 90 mil methadone. I was using 300 to 400 pounds of heroin a day and 300, 400 pounds worth of crack a day. So I was a mess. I was withdrawing, and I'm now ill as well. And I said to myself, like, please let me just get out of here. Like, I promise, like, I am done. And like, this is how I used to always speak to myself with the rituals as well. I just speak to myself. I was like, please let me get out of here. I swear to God, I will never take drugs again. Like, I am done. And I will even like share my story if I have to help people. I want to give my life to charity work. I want to help out, like. And then like a couple of days later, this man came in, this little nurse, and he was like, right, we've spoken to your drug service that gives you your methadone, and they've said they can keep you on the methadone, but you'd have to pick it up daily at the chemist, including the weekends, which means like I've got no life, like, because I'm tied to a fucking chemist every day, and if I don't go, I'm going to be violently ill. He said, or you can be a guinea pig, basically. You can be a trial for this new drug called Buvidal, which they've trialed in Australia and they've trialed in Sweden, but you will be part of the first trial batch in the UK. And I was a bit tempted. It was during lockdown. There was forced vaccinations. I'm a big conspiracy theorist, smoking fucking heroin, watching YouTube videos at 4 a.m, thinking, you know, COVID's a scam. So when they've told me about this injection that they're going to give heroin addicts, I'm thinking, yeah, we're the first they're going to kill off. Like, you know, I was like, no. But I thought if I go back on the meth, I'm going to go back onto drugs, and I'm contradicting myself here, and I'm probably not going to get out. If I accept methadone, I'm not getting out of hospital alive. Like, this is the deal, like, you know. So I thought, well, I'll try it. I'll try it. The first injection you have is a week, and then you go back for the monthly. So this injection is a blocker, blocks opiates, and it's a long-lasting injection. It goes on for a month. So if I ever try to use heroin, it just wouldn't work. I thought, well, look, I'll try the first week one, and if I don't like it, I'll just go back on the meth. At least I've tried. And I done it, and I am now 5 years clean. Like, I'm now speaking to you 5 years clean.
Congratulations, man. That's amazing.
I know, and it sounds like very simple, don't it? Like I've done a lot in these 5 years, but, you know, and it was a struggle. But, yeah, since taking that acceptance of that injection that would block using the drug, I'm 5 years clean, man.
Congratulations, bro. That's amazing.
Yeah.
The journey you've been on is unbelievable, man. It's
mad, isn't it?
It's mad. Like, I know the way you just transitioned off that drug, though. Like, now you're 5 years clean, but like, there's a lot of inner work you got to do as well. Not just bang, I'm done. Probably a lot of times reflection. You've grown a lot as a person, as a man. I'm a bit lost for words, to be honest, Cal. To be like, there's not going to be a word that's going to give you that. But it's credit to you, bro.
Thank you.
And now what you're doing now, though, is going around and helping the community, helping people. Yeah, like your videos.
I'm trying, mate. You know,
Honestly,
all we need is a trier, man. We don't need someone to.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm impressed with that, and
it's not a trier though, is it? It's a doer. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like it's.
We don't talk it. We walk it.
Okay.
Come on, behind you.
Come on.
Walk it like you're talking.
But all I'm saying is, colours, like, that's impressive on its own, mate.
Yeah.
And now you've grown as a person, though, to do.
But
imagine your intention into other things.
Imagine if you're a drug user now, right? Where you were listening to yourself, not just here, on other platforms, other podcasts, and even the ones that know you or knew you. It's inspiring, isn't it? Like without sounding cheesy or lame, it really is.
You know, it's a sad statistic, but the statistics for people who come off heroin are very dim. Okay, there's not much recovery going on in the recovery services. Let's just say that. And the people I do know who have come out the other side either want to put their life behind them. They probably want to get with someone in a relationship and not even tell them about their past. And then there's others who have come through the other side and they're ruined. Their speech is gone. They don't want to leave the house. They're content with being on universal credit, and that's okay. I get it. Like, it is hard. Like, it takes it out of you. But there's no one out there who's really, and this is what does my head in sometimes when people say, "Oh yeah, look at him. He's doing it for the fame." Or look, why is he? At the end of the day, there's not many people who have come out of heroin as deep as they was as me, and have actually not just existed or survived, but are actually becoming someone and doing something and being successful. And part of why I'm doing this is to show other ex-addicts that you can do this as well. You don't just have to be that guy who just ends up buying a dog and walking your dog daily and fucking smoking weed. You can be someone. You can achieve. Yeah.
Yes, brother. You know? Love that.
That's what it is. I'm trying, man. Yeah, I'm trying, and it's been a wild 5 years, man. Like, I remember I done an article very early on with Richard, I forget his surname. He wrote Gatlin's book and he wrote Lee Burns' book. And he asked me, he said, "Fucking hell, mate, can I write your book?" Yeah. And I think probably the most mature thing I ever said, someone with OCD and probably ADHD as well, normally I go, yes. I said no, because at the time, what was I going to write? I was only like 5 months clean. What the fuck was I going to write a book about? How to be a heroin addict. Yeah, that's fine. I said to him, my journey ain't over yet. Like, I want the happy ending first before I write any book. And, you know, I'm hoping that I'm writing that now. I think I am. I've done some amazing things. You know, I've been fucking producing films and featuring and narrating in films with voice. People, I wouldn't have dreamed of doing this. I didn't even know how to do these things. So,
talking about Vice in your path, do you ever watch, sorry, a bit off topic, Swansea Love Story?
Yeah. I know Amy. Like, I speak to Amy quite a bit.
She's clean now, isn't she?
Yeah. So obviously Cornelius passed away. Amy, I speak to. It's a massive shame. I don't really want to get into much of it, but she really wants to tell her story, but she has a partner who doesn't want her to do that. And I respect that, you know, but, you know, everyone knows Amy for that. Yeah. Show her for who she is now.
Yeah, you know, the journey, man.
You know, and that, you know,
not defined by our past, man.
No, 100%. But we should use it. That's what I try and say is, yeah, you are not defined by your past, but use it. And it's the same as people who when you're growing up, if you've been abused, use that. Don't fucking dwell on it and try, you know, it would be hard to just say, oh, don't fucking use drugs and forget about it. But try and use that. Go and use your experience and prevent other kids from going through that, or use it as a motivation to become successful.
Your message. You know, it's a powerful one, man, and people need to speak up more and give people, hey, look, here's the journey. There's the line. I'm telling you my journey now, and you can get through this journey yourself. Whatever you're going through personally, whatever it is, you're feeling stuck and you feel like this is the way I can only deal with it. It's not, man. You can literally, this is the gateway to it. This is the opportunity. And you're speaking from that.
Yeah, I thought, like, am I going to do this? I always thought to myself, I'm not doing this just to appeal to heroin addicts. You could be going through anything, gambling. You could have just broke up with your missus. You could have just lost a big job. I don't know. It could be anything. And the message is, fucking hell, if that guy over there, Cullan Mais, who was literally addicted to heroin for 12 years, he's got a criminal record that thick, was disowned by his whole kind of community and was dirt. Like, if he can turn it around and actually be successful, what the fuck? I can do that too, man, surely. Yeah. You know, it's just a sign to say that it's never too late. That's another thing my mum taught me, going back to uni in her mid-30s to be a teacher. It's never too late, is it? It's never too late. And it's cliche that, but it is. I was content at 28 that I was just never going to leave the British Isles. I was never going to go on holiday. I was never going to have a girlfriend. My mum and dad are never going to believe a word I say. Literally, where you two? I'm in town. You're lying. That's how bad it was, you know. They didn't believe anything I said. What came out of my mouth was a lie. Yeah. Everything. Never thought I'd get a job. Never thought I would just be a normal person. Yeah. And I have ticked all those off right now, man.
Nice. Powerful. Mate, I'm excited. I'm proud of where you are now, but I'm excited of where you're gonna be. Legit, man. I mean that. It's exciting.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a mad journey because I made that. It was that decision. Do you want to conform? Do you want to tick box? Do you want to play the game? And if I did that, I probably would be right now. I'd probably have a TV show or something. I've spoken to people in those positions who said this, but instead I do what I believe, you know. And unfortunately, giving everyone a voice, questioning things, you know, you can't go there like that straight away. But I do believe that what I'm doing is the right thing, and hopefully one day that will pay off, and I will be able to be in a position where I can really, you know, maximize. I think I'm helping people. I get messages every single day, but I want to maximize that, and I want to, I would like to get out of my parents' house as well, because for people who don't know, like, I'm still living in my mum and dad's house at the moment. Me and my partner, we're trying to save her. We're trying to get out. You know, some people think because I am on TV or I'm doing this or they got the YouTube with 100,000 that I'm killing it. You know, I'm rich. I'm not. You know, and most of the money I make on it, I put it straight back into the Central Club anyway. Yeah. You know, whether that's equipment or traveling or paying for someone to come on or, you know, or doing homeless feeds and stuff like that. You know, but one day I will get there, and I would like to be successful, financially stable, and keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully, that'll come. And I'll tell you one thing, like, I am so excited to, like, see what we do with Haven Central Club. And, you know, it feels really good being with you two, honestly.
Appreciate that, man.
It does, man.
Well, I think this is just the start, though. This is the start. I believe everything happens for a reason. I met Jim for a reason. I met you for a reason, and vice versa. And, mate, when you put good people together, man, good stuff happens.
I know.
It's as simple as that. Environment is
mad.
Key.
It is. And do you know what? For 4 years, I've tried looking for, you know, yings to my yangs and finding this person. And do you know what? I always try to be patient about it and just not just jump in with certain. And I have done, you know, I've actually been patient with some people, and it still hasn't worked, you know. But, like, when you meet a group of people, sometimes you normally get that good vibe with them. And, you know, I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Boys, I really appreciate this podcast. I love just plugging in on a podcast. Just get deeper, get honest and open. Love it, man.
Yeah.
But, First of all, I know where I can find you, but for the listeners out there who don't know about you, Cal, where can they find you? How can they follow you? How can they get more dialed into Cal?
Well, for now, it's just the socials of like, so Cullan Mais on Facebook, Instagram. I even got, so I probably need to switch the Snap. I was using the Snap just to bang everything out. If they just want to see random daily shit of me, like the Snap is the one, like, I don't know why. But for the Central Club, which is obviously the most important thing, is the Central Club podcast on Instagram, YouTube, which we've just hit 100,000 subscribers on.
That's massive.
Yeah, we've got we've got X, we've got Facebook, TikTok. The TikTok's doing really well. And that's it. Cullan Mais on LinkedIn as well. If there's anyone out there for like speaking, consultations, any of that, LinkedIn as well. So
appreciate that, man.
But I'm contactable on all of them, to be honest, bro.
Love that. Jim Dog,
Brother,
how can they get in touch with Armex Haven?
we're Haven Alarms or Armex Tech on Instagram, Facebook, websites, etc. Or you can just come and see us. We're on Bridgend Industrial Estate, Bracknell Industrial Estate.
Love that, man.
I can't wait to see what we do with Haven, man. We're going to do some great things, man.
There's so much we can do.
Yeah.
Boys, before we wrap it up, you know what I like to say. Boys, what are you grateful for? Cal, you want to go first?
I'm grateful to be here right now, man.
Appreciate that.
I'm grateful to be here right now. I'm grateful, right, that we all met and you picked up my Instagram message. You helped me with my head, and we were all in this room together off the back of fuck all, really. Just a decision.
I'm grateful, for every decision I've made, because it's led us to where we are now, man.
Respect. Love, boys. A lot of love. Hey, thank you so much.
Don't just talk it, walk it.